The Needham Select Board is reconsidering participating in the state's Green Community Designation and Grant Program. The designation means a municipality has met 5 criteria for energy efficiency and is eligible for hundreds of thousands of dollars in grants. Needham first applied for the designation in 2011. Now that 8 years have passed, is Needham ready this time? Municipal producer Yu Xiaowin spoke with the chair, Green Needham, Michael Greis, about Needham's path to become a green community.
Among the 5 criteria of the Green Communities designation, the one requirement that Needham had a hard time meeting was the adoption of the stretch code, which requires new homes and commercial buildings to use energy-efficient materials and appliances to reduce the consumption of energy. The code was rejected by town meeting in 2011, but passed this May.
The ayes have it, majority declared on a voice.
It really is time to do this because at the time we would have been one of the earlier communities, and now there are 240 of the 351 towns have already done it. I look back at a couple of communities that are like our peer communities that applied around the same time we did. They, over the last 6 or 7 years, have been able to benefit from the Green Communities grants. To my way of thinking, we've left $1 million on the table by not doing it. And those grants will be available to us going forward. They apply to projects that we're planning to do, but that we can get grants to help us do.
Despite the unsuccessful attempt in 2011, Needham has not stopped its efforts to reduce municipal energy consumption. Needham has already taken strides to reduce energy over the last several years. This will help the town meet the requirement to reduce energy use by 20% over 5 years.
One of the reasons that applying this year is so attractive is that some things that we've done in the last couple of years, including replacing all the street lights with LEDs, we will be able to count in the 5-year plan. Every time we build a new building, we are making the envelope more efficient, so it uses less energy, at least on a per square foot basis, and putting in more efficient systems. All of those projects help to reduce the energy use. Now, to be fair, and it's important to note, we build a new school, say, and it's bigger. It may use more electricity or more energy in some ways, but it's using less than it would if we hadn't built it that way. You then develop a plan to reduce your energy use over the next 5 years. Those are identified projects that you plan to do, the energy reduction. So things like, you replace a boiler, place LEDs in a building, and you can estimate what you get. A lot of these projects are in the plan already because we do a lot of work on energy reduction in the community.
According to one report the Green Community Study Committee made in 2011, based on Needham's population and per capita income, Needham's initial grant might reach $150,000. If Needham is able to complete the projects funded with the initial grant, it can apply for up to $250,000 every year to fund its new energy reduction projects.
I can look at any year's projects that the town has on the 5-year, whether it's on the capital plan or the plan, and you'll see projects that are, have an energy reduction component. We already do these things. This is a way of getting some additional funding to support it and helping us making sure we think about that as we're doing our planning.
The benefits of Green Communities designation goes beyond the visible fundings and creates a virtuous cycle.
We're going to help reach our Global Warming Solution Act goals, reducing carbon emissions, and cities and towns have a big role in that. And then there's kind of this virtuous circle. When people in the community do things like install solar panels, they turn to the town and say, well, shouldn't you be doing it? And vice versa, when the town does things and builds more energy efficient buildings and uses energy efficient heating and lighting, then residents can look and say, well, I should do that too. The work that we do as a town, and I look at the schools because I'm on the school committee, but it's also worked out, it's about people. It's firemen, policemen, teachers. Right? So every dollar we don't spend on energy as a municipality, we can spend on services. And that is what we should all aspire to because when you're burning oil and gas, you're sending the money somewhere else. But when you're providing services, you're giving employment and you're providing a benefit to people right here in the community and creating jobs in Massachusetts. That's important.
On Wednesday, October 16th, the Select Board will hold a hearing to receive public feedback on Needham applying for the designation. Residents can also send their comments to selectboard@needhamma.gov. For the Needham Channel News, I'm Yu Xiaoyuan.